things are going this way, I'm like, okay, I'm not gonna do that. Even down to my travel, I'm like, oh, if it's like off, that flight ain't for me, or this ain't for me. Like,
you know, so then that was kind of like, hold up, you know what I'm saying? What's going on here? And
did that make you want to be a rapper more, or make you want to make money to get it back?
Nah.
No, I'm not with him.
No.
Oh, yeah, not by choice, but you know, I respect.
Stop scrolling for just 1 second, because what happened on GloRilla's IG Live has fans across the internet in absolute disbelief. This wasn't your typical celebrity rant. It wasn't playful shade. It wasn't even some petty breakup moment. It was raw, it was explosive, and it was so shocking that within minutes, clips were spreading everywhere. On her own live, in front of thousands of fans watching in real time, GloRilla let loose about Yo Gotti in a way nobody saw coming. She didn't hold back, she didn't censor herself, and she didn't care who was watching. And then, she said the line that instantly broke the internet, claiming that Yo Gotti was working with a small package. Now, let's pause right there. In today's world, once you put something out on live, you can't take it back. People screen record, repost, meme it, and before you even have time to process what you said, the world has already run wild with it. That's exactly what happened here. 1 second Glo was venting, and the next, her words were plastered across every blog, every Twitter thread, every group chat. And it wasn't just the shade that had people talking, it was the way she said it, the fire in her voice, the exhaustion in her body language, the kind of energy that made it clear this wasn't a joke. This was real. But how did it get to this point? That's the question fans immediately started asking. Because if you rewind back to the beginning of GloRilla's journey, Yo Gotti was the man standing in her corner. He was the one who signed her, who publicly co-signed her talent, who put his arm around her in pictures and interviews like he was proud to call her one of his own. For the longest time, fans saw them as this powerful duo, mentor and rising star, big boss and little sis making waves together. But behind that polished exterior, tension had been brewing. For months, whispers had floated around that Glo was starting to feel boxed in, like every win she achieved still came with an asterisk. Because of Gotti. No matter how hard she worked, no matter how many stages she tore down, people kept tying her success back to him. And that takes a toll. On the flip side, there were also whispers about Gotti's feelings. Some said he was proud, yes, but also insecure. Worried that Glo's star was starting to shine so bright it might cast a shadow over his own. It's the kind of behind-the-scenes drama you don't see in interviews, but you feel it in the shade, in the cryptic tweets, in the tension that builds until one day, it all spills out. That day was Glo's IG Live. She went on like she's done 100 times before, chatting casually with fans, vibing, being her usual unfiltered self. People were asking her about new music, about shows, about her life. And then, as always, the name Yo Gotti popped up in the comments. At first, she tried to dodge it, brushing it off with a laugh, saying, "Y'all messy," like she normally would. But fans kept pushing. The comments wouldn't stop. Where's Gotti? What's up with you and Gotti? Why you and him ain't cool no more? It was like poking at a wound, and you could see her patience thinning by the second. Finally, she snapped. The smile dropped from her face, her voice dropped an octave, and she leaned closer to the camera. "Y'all really want to know?" she asked, her eyes dead serious. The comments exploded with people spamming YSSS and Spilitsis. And that's when she delivered the line that made history. "He ain't all that. Matter of fact, he working with a small package." The silence lasted maybe half a second before the chat went insane. Thousands of comments flew across the screen at lightning speed. People were screaming in all caps, laughing, spamming emojis, tagging their friends to get on the live immediately. Some people couldn't believe she said it. Others were hollering like it was the funniest thing they'd ever heard. And within seconds, phones were out, screen recordings were happening, and the clip was already being uploaded everywhere. What made it worse, or better, depending on how you look at it, was the way Glo doubled down. She didn't backtrack. She didn't laugh it off like it was a joke. She kept talking, throwing little jabs, making it clear this wasn't some slip of the tongue. This was pent-up frustration, years of tension, all boiling over into one explosive moment. She even added, "Y'all be hyping him up like he this big boss. but trust me, it ain't what it looked like. By this point, the internet was already on fire. Twitter exploded with memes, TikTok stitched the clip into every possible reaction video, and Yo Gotti's name started trending with clown emojis and jokes attached. People were ruthless, making every kind of joke you could imagine. Some fans couldn't stop laughing, saying she finished him with one sentence. Others shook their heads, saying she went too far, that no matter what went down between them, that kind of personal shot was crossing the line. And then came the silence from Yo Gotti. For hours after the clip went viral, he didn't say a word. No tweets, no lives, no statements. And in the world of social media, silence can sometimes be the loudest response. People immediately took it as confirmation, as if his refusal to clap back meant she hit a nerve. Blogs started running headlines like, Yo Gotti silent after GloRilla exposes him. And is it true? Fans think Gotti's silence speaks volumes. Others claimed insiders had already spoken to him and that he was furious behind the scenes, throwing his phone, pacing around, trying to figure out how to clean up the mess. But while Gotti stayed quiet, Glo's fans only got louder. They flooded her comments with laughing emojis, telling her she was a legend for saying what everyone secretly wondered. They started tagging her in memes, remixing her live into songs, making sure the clip would live forever. Even celebrities began chiming in. Some dropped cryptic laughing emojis, others posted vague tweets about never disrespecting a woman who knows too much. And this is where things get complicated, because as funny as fans found it, the fallout had serious implications. This wasn't just shade, it was a bomb dropped on Yo Gotti's image. For a man who's built his entire persona around being the powerful, respected boss, having your ex-associate blast you like that is damaging. The jokes, the memes, the non-stop clowning, it chips away at the aura he worked so hard to build. Industry insiders began whispering about whether this was the final straw for Gotti and Glo's professional relationship. Would he cut ties with her completely? Would she leave CMG? Or worse, would legal action get involved if he felt she had crossed into defamation territory? Some even speculated this could turn into a full-on rap beef, with diss tracks and subliminal bars flying back and forth. But for now, the only thing that's crystal clear is this: that Liv changed everything. GloRilla didn't just casually vent or drop a few shade-filled comments. No. She ripped the band-aid off, exposed raw wounds that fans didn't even know were there, and left the internet shook. She took what used to be whispered in private or brushed off as rumors and turned it into a full-blown public spectacle. And once you cross that line, once you expose those kinds of truths live for everyone to see, there's no rewind button. No takebacks. The fallout? Oh, it's just getting started. People can't stop talking because this isn't just some messy celebrity drama. It's a power play. For years, Yo Gotti held the reins. He was the boss, the one calling the shots behind the scenes, the gatekeeper controlling GloRilla's career trajectory. But that night, with one bold move, Glo flipped the whole script. She snatched that power right out of his hands and reminded everyone watching that no matter what favors, connections, or support someone might offer you, they don't get to disrespect you or define your worth. Period. The energy shift is real, and it's palpable. So, what happens now? Is Yo Gotti going to finally break his silence? Will he clap back with some slick, calculated response or try to brush it off with jokes and memes? Or is this scandal so massive that it's going to force him to lay low, at least for a little while, and do some serious damage control behind the scenes? Meanwhile, Glo's career might be walking a tightrope. There's always a risk when you publicly call out someone so powerful, but if the internet's reaction is any indicator, her fearless honesty has only made her shine brighter. People crave authenticity in a world full of smoke and mirrors, and love her or hate her, GloRilla just served one of the rawest, most unfiltered moments we've seen in a long time. This isn't some rehearsed, scripted drama. This was real, emotional, and messy in the best way possible. And that's exactly what made it so powerful. And let's be honest, stories like this never end with just one live session or one viral clip. This is just the opening chapter. When you humiliate someone with a reputation and clout as big as Yo Gotti's, you better bet a response is coming. The question isn't if, it's what will the response look like? Will it be petty, strategic, or will it completely flip the narrative again? Whatever happens, one thing's for sure. The drama's far from over, and the world will be watching every move.